everyone, this is Pt.6 here, and welcome back to Libretta. Previously, we found out some backstory of our main characters. Now we seek to reach the end of this story and find out the truth once and for all. There's another book over here. A building, of course, is built from the bottom up. Really, it's the most logical way. A person, on the other hand, I'm not so sure. Does one start with their head, or their body, or their legs? I would put the head first, personally. If a building is constructed bottom to top, a person is made top to bottom. Though that said, a person is more than just the sum of their parts. A little complicated, yeah. You know, a lot of these don't apply if you're a robo person or you have cool badass cyber legs. Or you're Robocop. Plain looking bad. Two of them. You and I, we're both on our own. We have to look after each other. So just promise me that whatever happens, you'll stay with me to the end. Fine, I promise. You found a promise. For a better future. Huh, I don't understand you. I'll never understand you. I'm sorry to hear that. But at least I know there's someone who does. Ah, see, this is the back door to this building. I don't have enough? I must have missed some. Here's the last leaf. There we go. The plate just remained blank, however, and there must be something else. All of a sudden, the pages fill in. Journey, Chapter 6. The more time she spent with him, the more they came to appreciate each other's company. In time, they found between them that which they had come to the far end of the world looking for. And soon, that far end of the world became a place where all could sing in harmony, a shining beacon for all such travelers. You and me, in perfect harmony. Stairs to nowhere. Lauren. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I've decided I can't stay here any longer. So I'm going to find somewhere I can be. But when I find it, I'll come back to tell you. Because you're the only one I want to know. So go to where we read all those happy endings and wait for me. That's where we'll meet again. Okay. I guess my name is not Libra. It's Lauren? Okay. I'll be there soon. I get it. Of course I know mine. I love you. So please. Camille's cloak. Did she come this way? One of the things I noticed about this soundtrack is you do Like, if you take off one part of your headset or something, you won't hear the full soundtrack. You'll hear just a single set of sounds. Something seems to be missing here, and it's throwing everything out of order. Huh? What's this? Oh, that looks pretty. I mean, never mind. Blackness. This seems familiar. Libretta, chapter 1. I guess I have to read the book. Here we go. From the day I was born, people had certain expectations for me. I tried my best to meet those expectations, but after a long time, long even after the birth of my sister, I realized something. This wasn't what I wanted. I had gotten so caught up in trying to please people that I didn't notice how much it belied the real me. Nothing about this felt right. You know, I do notice that the whole puzzle is evolving, like holding the pages like pretty much disappeared after the first chapter. Would they even know what I was talking about? Do they have any idea? When they say I can tell them anything, do they have the slight expectation for this? Maybe I don't have to tell them directly, yet. I can hint at without giving it away. That will work. Foreshadowing like that only works in stories. In the context of real life, it'd be ridiculous. But that's just how my mind thinks. So how am I ever going to tell them? This is too much. I need something to hold it all. Finally, this should help me keep it all hidden. Wait, is there a hole in this? It's alright, the bucket will collect your tears. As I thought about day after day, no one else noticed a thing, but I was so afraid. I came to think of it as a good thing. I didn't want to change. I didn't want to just play into expectations anymore. Because how long could I last like that? How happy could I be? Yet I couldn't predict people's reactions. I was too weak to handle the worst. So I had to pretend nothing was wrong. I had to be strong. If that was strength. But I had to at least tell my sister. Okay. Alpha's creator, Alpha's orchestrator, Alpha's instigator. She, Alpha wrote me. She, Alpha, is why I'm here. You, Alpha, now read me. This is maddening. It's like I'm constantly on the lookout for clues which might not be there at all. When they said that, was it a joke, or did they know? Were they trying to ask without asking? If so, maybe they do think in similar ways to me. But then, that's probably exactly why I would think they're doing that. But more than likely, they're not. You see a cave before you. There's no sign of any life inside of it. You need a flashlight. Deeper and deeper. To the point the music stops. You can't see a thing. You can't hear a sound. You're all by yourself. And then something like a guru comes out and murders you. You begin to nod off in the comfort of the darkness. But you know you must continue on. When I laid it all out to my sister in tears, and she told me she understood, I felt a wave of relief come over me. I always knew I could count on her. I'm not sure how to explain it, but she was always able to help me. For the time being, it was our secret. Yet she helped me to think that I wouldn't have to remain that so forever. She gave me the courage to keep going. I don't know what these other books are for. That's just more storyline. Telling my sister is one thing, but my parents, I barely know how to talk to them, period. Even though things I know are relatively minor, my mind gets caught in an endless loop on them. I should tell them. How will they react? Will I look stupid? Will I regret ever saying anything? Will Well, I regret never seeing anything. It's completely paralyzing. I practically have to trick myself into telling them anything. I'm so pathetic. A slime draws near. Slime's attack. Defeat it with a sword or 1 damage. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Damn, he took my sword. It was an experience. Now you level up. I wanted it to be the best day of my life, or better yet, the first day I could refer to that way, but such a day never came. I never mustered the courage to tell my parents. Instead, they found out on their own, and when they did, my every effort felt wasted. They said there was something wrong with me. They said I shouldn't be acting like this. They said. I found myself sobbing in my sister's room again. Omega reads me, or does she merely take me off the shelf? Does she only stare at the pages? For her mind all but belongs to Alpha, so she hopes if she can do such a thing, that will not last for much longer. And she prays that when it ends by her hands, it will all end well. The real question is, I'm trying to figure out which sibling I am. Like, a weird way I feel like there's a twist to this I'm not realizing. Or who I'm talking to in this sense. What am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? I thought I would be free, but I feel less free than ever. Tell me she has a solution. She always has a solution. Please, tell me that the answer isn't just to run away again. Isn't there anything, even the single thing that belongs to me? That's right. These are mine. At least, these are mine. I had to leave. I put up with it until now. I couldn't take it any longer. I never wished for this. I'd wished for so much and never this. If my sister really can grant my wishes, then I wish. I had to leave. Breaking noise. Any changes up here? Doesn't look like it. Write my name. The pencil snapped in half. So I'm Lauren. Maybe Libra is just a name we decided to pick. Oh, there's a lot of books in here, isn't there? Can I read all these? It's a lot of reading. If I have to actually read all these, I think it's a little bit much. So I'm just kind of click through them. A wolf came. They're short though. Actually, it's not too bad. Any person large or small could be the fairest one of all. She looked curiously at the mirror. I cannot say it's her nor you, but in your heart let it be true. She hugged the mirror, and they lived happily ever after. The girl who cried wolf. There once was a girl who cried, and all of a sudden, people can understand how much she meant it. The mirror smiled deep inside. They lived happily ever after. Lone Red Running Gun. Just then, a hunter came along. He talked with the wolves and found out it was all a misunderstanding. They meant no harm. It took some getting used to, but the girl found out in the end, things were better than ever before. They lived happily ever after. Little Mermaid. See, the previous versions we were reading all had sad endings. These were the happy ones. She realized her nearsightedness, but did not lose hope. She picked herself up and got used to life on land, even without legs. She knew she was better for it. This time, she would not lose sight of herself. She had made many friends and treasured them all, and then became a Disney blockbuster. Oh! Her stepsister learned what had happened, and headed for the castle at once. The next day, the prince visited her home. He gave her beautiful clothes that would always last, and an invitation to visit the castle at any time. She gladly accepted both, and they lived happily ever after. The bears cut up to the girl and had her apologize for what she did. She was truly sorry. She had no other choice. Realizing the girl was just as needy as them, the bears decided to let her stay in their home, where she cared for her dearly, and lived happily ever after. This book, there's something very familiar about it. That's right, this is... Hey, Lauren. You remember how when you were little, you used to write in books? Write in books? I don't know if I recall that. Yeah, maybe it was too embarrassing to remember. Sometimes you'd read a story and get really mad. Then you'd grab a crayon and start scribbling parts out and... Oh, yeah, I sort of remember that now. Gosh, what a brat I was. Well, I mean, I thought it was pretty immature too at the time, to make up your own ending, just because you're not satisfied with what's there. But if that's immature, what does it mean to be mature? To accept that not every story ends satisfyingly, to just deal with it as much as it upsets you, to do nothing about it. Surely maturity can't mean giving up on what you always believed in, right? I've just been reading a lot of stories I don't like lately. But if someone wrote a story about my life, I wonder if people would like it or not. I'd love to write it for you. That way, maybe I could avoid the need to scribble anything out later. You'd still be writing about my life, so there would always be... maybe. But I'd still find a way to make it satisfying. Something that would give people hope. Like you, Lauren. Or like you, Kay. So yeah, we're Lauren. If you want to figure that out. I think that's kind of why they said we were kind of familiar, but not really. Because Libra is not us, if you know what I mean. My sister Kay. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Lauren and her sister Kay. Following this is page after page of crossed out sentences. Some seem to have been ripped out. Must have been a sad story. The very last page just says, and we lived happily ever after. Hold on. Libretta. This book. It's missing a letter. Ah, get it? A letter. An actual letter. These puns are intense. You think you should take this one? You think it's a story of your sister's life? Hey, a Libra. Camille is representative of her sister, while not being her sister, just kind of like we're Libra. I know I'm kind of an oddball. Not everyone sees the world the way I do. Do you think they understand me? You know, out there. Yes. Huh, you think so? Libra. I really want to just be myself, but it's so hard. Do you think they at least be okay with it? Will they support me? Is that what they say too? I feel like each one of these is... Each of the people we met was like a different representation, like another facade here, or another aspect of a personality, I guess. That's why the voices is mimicking, kinda. Libra. I searched far and wide. I really did. Is there really a place for me? If that's what you say, then I believe you. Just like the beginning. Darkness in a hall. Lauren! Is that you? Ah, so it doesn't look quite exactly like Camille, but kind of similar. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have left you behind like that. But you never even met her. Though, didn't you see her? What's the matter? It's me, Kay, your sister. You didn't forget, did you? I had to go for a while. But I told you to meet me at the library, right? We should get back home to Mom and Dad. They must be worried about us. Is something wrong? Aren't you glad to see me? Don't you believe me? What was that? I have to believe her. Kay can't be lying to me. If Clay was lying, then... No. Don't tell me. If not even you believe me... This is how it ends. Isn't it? Fuzzy, Chapter 6. Her parents, fed up with her contrarian ways, arranged for her to have eye surgery. She vehemently refused, opposed to the very notion. But as always, her parents would not listen. She saw no choice but to run away from home, and was never seen again. The end. Mirror, Chapter 6. He spent the rest of his days miserably staring into his mirror, and his reflection looked back at him. He made no progress interacting with the mirror world. Deep down, he knew he was foolish to think it was real. But even so, he lamented his failings, and could only dwell on what could have been. The end. As they waited at the far end of the world, the two remained distant from each other. Despite being fellow travelers, he wanted nothing to do with her. To him, she was disgusting, a freak. One night, he cut her up in her sleep, and resigned himself to wait, in vain, alone. The end. I never saw her again. Seems that's the end of that. Something tells me that Libra didn't entirely find what she was looking for, huh? You do at least realize, right? That she really believed in her. that she honestly believed it was true. It was sorta snatched away from them. This is one of those, this is kind of like the Undertale post-ending dialogues. Flowey's like in the corner, like saying, like, "Oh, you fucked up." Sorry, maybe that wasn't your intention. There's a lot I don't know about you, so I could be misinterpreting. Anyway, if I were you, I'd try something else. Well, I'd do that if I were me too. But I did choose to let things play out here. I wanted to see what you could do. So, such a decision isn't mine to make. It's yours. What was that flash? Where are you? No, I mean, Libra, no. Where am I? Lauren, is everything okay? I'm so scared. What's going on? I don't know how I got here. I don't know what I was doing. All I know for sure is, I came to the library to find... Kay. It's really you. You really came back. There. I promised, right? You came to the library, and you found me. It took us a little while before either of us even realized it. But it's alright now. And I feel like it's all thanks to you that it is. Thanks to me. But what did I do? Surely it's Kay who's to thank for coming to save me. What do you mean? How did I... I'm not sure if I understand either, but you're a very special girl, Lauren. I think you really can make wishes come true. My many wishes that never would have. To have you as my sister, and to be yours. It's all I could want. I still don't understand. My memories are still so jumbled. But no matter what, I know I can trust Kay. She's my sister, so she came back for me. That has to be true. But how do we get out of here, Kay? Just leave for the door. Well, about that, if you think about it, this place shouldn't even exist. I was just waiting for you there in the library, which means no one had to be lost. Kay is right. Of course she's right. Since I never found any strange book, since Kay was waiting there all along, this whole nightmare never happened. Because I still believe in miracles, I swear I've seen a few. And the time will surely come when you can see my point of view. I believe in second chances, and that's why I believe in you. This is the place where the book was. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare you, okay? I wish I could have come sooner, but I'm so glad to see you again. We should get going. Still asleep at the job? Oh, Lauren. You found what you were looking for? Huh? Yes. I think so. Thanks? Even though I'm not sure how she helped, I somehow feel like she did. Are you two going home already? Huh. Your choice. Bye now. The library fell asleep again. Again? I can't really be sure. Well, Lauren, it's time to go home. I guess it is. Right for the door, like I said. Hand in hand. A new chapter in life, quite literally. When I told my parents why I had run away, finally finding the courage to tell them all about it, we cried, all of us. Because no, I hadn't met their expectations, but they were overjoyed that I had found my own, and I was overjoyed they understood that. My sister Lauren, she granted me this wish, I'm sure of it. She could always grant my wishes. And maybe she was crying most of all, because she was just so glad for her sister. Hello, are you still there? It's me, not Libra, but Lauren. I'm not really sure who you are, and maybe you're already gone, but I want to thank you. Oh, don't thank me. In every variation of this ending, your life was hell. When I returned home with Kay, she decided it was time to tell our parents the truth. And it was, finally, the first, best day of her life. But, happy as I was also confused, because that contradicted everything I knew. Kay tells me that yes, she ran away from home, and that it was a result of suffocating pressure. Except, she says it was her lack of courage, that she couldn't imagine ever telling our parents, and that, while away, she overcame that fear. Which, suffice to say, isn't how I remember it. But I suppose it's for the best. When she first came out to me, when I found out I had a sister whose name was Kay, frankly, it didn't even seem like a big deal. I told her I got it, because I did. And I was glad, from the bottom of my heart. But I soon found out why it cost her so many tears. Because in actuality, so few seemed to understand. So I did everything I could to make her feel accepted, safe, loved, since no one else would do it. I tried to keep her positive. Yet even when I was worn down into thinking that maybe there was a point where optimism was no use. And so when she left, I thought it was all my fault. But with no knowledge of where she'd gone, that was all I could do for her. To go to the library and keep believing. And then all of a sudden, you came along. If you hadn't realized, it was a terrifying experience for me. It was like I was trapped in a dream. I didn't feel like I was in control of myself. And now, I realize I really wasn't. I could scarcely even follow what was going on. But thank the goddess that Kay was there too. Even if she was very unsure of herself, her words helped me make some sense of it all. At any rate, I'm only grateful to you, because you and I were on the same page, get it? Yes, we both wanted Kay to be happy. I kept pushing on with the hope that somehow, doing all this would lead me to Kay. And so we did the impossible. With my belief, with your belief, and with even Kay's belief. We rewrote the story for life, so that she still had one. Maybe it's unnatural. Maybe in your world, something like this could never, ever happen. I can hardly believe it happened here. And maybe it's unfair that we were given a chance like this, when countless others might deserve it more. But besides just a thank you, I want to tell you something else. People write stories for all kinds of reasons. To share sad or happy feelings with others. To serve as an escape from reality. But in a sense, they all come from the same place. They're based in the author's own life experience. And that life in itself is a story. One that might often feel out of their control. There's nothing wrong with indulging in stories that end happily ever after. But we can't just ignore the tragedies happening all around us. I think we can help people achieve a happy ending. Their stories are still being written, and we can be pivotal characters in them. The world is what we make of it. It seems that's far more literal in some cases, but I'm sure it applies in your world too. I believe we're not alone. That people all over the world want nothing less than the best for everyone. And I believe they can bring about change so that we can all live happily ever after. Won't you too? So that's it for Libretta. I think there's a bit of a curious part of this story. I mean, I kind of had a feeling as I was playing it, and the final dialogue probably reinforces some of that. That this was a good chance a personal story, a VG person. I'm not sure who, like, if any of the characters represent them themselves, but in the story, I'm gonna assume that Kay probably committed suicide, and through the actions of us, in a sense, you know, we're Kara, we're kind of like the same role like Undertale in that sense, we're a outside observer playing the game. We managed to rewrite their story into a more positive ending. But the story, if you obviously can't tell, is about a transgender sibling and their journey in the end and their journey of acceptance, and the whole story was essentially about reinforcing people, in a sense. That's why the final dialogue is about being the pivotal character in other people's stories, in a sense. Being the one that makes their story the happy ending. That's the kind of whole message of the game. So just like the player comes in and kind of brings a miracle about you, the player, or a person viewing or whatever, listening to the story, you yourself can be that thing that comes in and essentially be's the positive role in that life, and perhaps saves a life. That's, you know, like I said, that's the message of the game. But that's the story. As far as grading the game, this actually had like some pretty decent puzzles in there. Some of them are so-so, but it actually had some pretty good ones. I like the little riddles and stuff like that. I think this game would be much more elevated if there was a little more art, per se, like a little more. I feel like the world and the kind of terrain and stuff could use like a little more stuff to build a little more atmosphere and kind of cement the feel of the area. And I feel like it probably does need some. I feel like it'd be nice to have like some portraits or something to the characters, or something to kind of like focus in on, because the sprite work is very simple and it works, but there's not much to focus on as far as face and identification. So I think if this had some art attached to it, like I said, It's more little atmospheric building things. I would elevate much more higher as far as quality. I like the actual writing and story though. I have really no complaints about that. Sometimes it kind of drags, but the overall story itself, the foundation of the story, didn't actually. I never lost interest per se, and I didn't want to see the story to the end. So, and when you get great writing, I think that's a very important thing. And if you lack that, then you kind of lack the quality of writing in the sense, the ability to keep the audience. But so essentially, a little bit of editing, a little bit more work, and like I said, the overall presentation for more atmosphere. Overall, very solid writing. That's my entire kind of grade for this game. Very good kind of first run for a VG person though. Anyway, so thank you all for watching me play Libretta. I'll see you guys later and take it easy.